Hey everyone, today I think I'm gonna make cinnamon rolls and biscuits. Reason why both is because it takes the cinnamon rolls, you need some time for the cinnamon rolls to rise. Plus, I want some biscuits for breakfast. Okay, so it says I've got my recipe book. I just find them online and just write them down. Can't remember where this one came from. First of all, I would actually go through the instructions, and start preheating your oven to what temp it says to. Or, let's see, mix in a large bowl, mix the flour, the salt, and the sugar and the yeast together, stir in microwavable bowl, heat the water, milk and butter together, stir the butter mixture, add the egg, and knead until or mix for 3 to 5 minutes or until dough is no longer sticky. Okay. Place on a lightly greased bowl and set for about 5 minutes. Preheat oven to 200 degrees and turn off after 10 minutes or just before placing rolls in. Well, that's it. Okay, so I am going to place my recipe book back here behind you guys. That way I can try to at least. I've got a very small kitchen, and not much of it is actually usable. So some things you just have to keep being moved around. Okay, so I think I found me a spot. So it says 2 3/4 cup all-purpose flour. And let's get our measuring cups out. Don't necessarily have a 3/4 cup. But I can do my best with what I got. I've made these before and haven't had they've come out really good. But I'm using all-purpose flour. It says all-purpose flour. I'm using self-rising. What's going on? Okay, we got one. What you doing, honey bun? Oh, okay. How about getting that other flour, one of those flours down and filling up my container? Ready, please, with your cream on top.
Okay, I got the other flour for you. Oh.
4. I got a fork or knife or something. No, I'll just use this.
There we go.
Good enough. Thank you. One of these days I'll have a giant jar and I want to do that.
Wow.
Okay. What I'm doing is aerating the flour. This is something Jenny Can Cook says to do. I really like her because she's very basic and simple and, well, easy to understand. And all her recipes are very, very good, very delicious, and always easy to follow. And she doesn't use some of the silly stuff that go out and buy this complicated item that not even Walmart has. So, I really do like her, and this is not a recipe that came from her. It's just one I found online somewhere. At least I don't think it came from her. I forgot to write down who it was from. Okay. With that done. Oh, I'm missing a part of that. Okay, so having called my mother and told her my measurements, she told me it says 3/4 cup. So I got 2 cups in here. It says 3/4, and I don't have one. So after calling my mother, she said to take a half cup. And when you fill it up, don't fill it up all the way to the top. You fill it up just a little ways, almost to it. And that'll be how much you need. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this, scoop it in there. And we're just going to eyeball this. It's what I've had to do last time. Okay, that's about right. You're my wedding band clanging on that metal. Right, aerate that. All right, I'm good and satisfied with that. Okay, says 3 tablespoons sugar. And so here's my tablespoon. 1. 2. 3. 1 teaspoon salt. So there we go. There's that. Then it says 1 package or fourth teaspoon of yeast. And I actually do have a jar of yeast. There we go. Okay. Now the direction says to mix all that together. So we're going to mix this together, the salt, sugar, yeast, and please tell me that man did not eat all my eggs. How many eggs do I need? Oh, I'm lucky. He left me one egg. Yippee! Hi, Catherine. What you doing, sweetie? Oh, really? No, honey, I can't give you rubs right now, baby. Okay. In small microwave bowl, heat the water, milk, and butter together. So it says half cup of water, fourth cup of milk, and 2 tablespoons unsalted butter. Microwave safe bowl. Or container. How about a cup? Let's see if this works. Ignore the mess, everyone. Okay, so it says fourth cup of water. So we're going to get a fourth cup of water. And I'm just going to use my measuring cup. Oh, looks like this might actually work. I'm making cinnamon rolls, sweetheart. You just had to get up here, so Mommy had no choice but to rub and love on you. Okay. Oh, that said a half a cup of water. Uh-oh. Mistakes can be fixed. So just take another one of these and put it in there. Now, if you're not sure a fourth and a fourth is a half, and believe me, I have trouble with numbers all the time. Take what you got, pour it in this, in your actual measurement. If it should come out exact, and this came almost to it. So this is exact enough for me. Then it says a fourth cup of milk. Pays to pay attention. So we're going to take a fourth a cup, add it in here. Okay. Unsalted butter. I don't know if the butter I have is unsalted or not, but we're going to use it anyway. Out, please. No, ma'am. Get away from my ham. Oh, don't you dare fuss at me. No, ma'am. No ham. No, 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 no. Go to your papa if you want food. Daniel! I'm being scolded for not letting her have ham. No, she wants the ham, and I won't let her have it. Their bowl's empty. Okay, it says 2 tablespoons of butter. So I'm just going to take this and come in here and do that. Papa says no too. Ham. Bossy little thing, ain't she?
You need to get up off me, Cap. Unless me, I ain't got keys. I'm gonna go get up that food.
Thank you. Maybe she'll stop cussing me. Getting cussed out by my cat. How bad is that? All right, it says to heat the water, milk, and butter together. Doesn't necessarily say how long, but I'm pretty sure you don't want this to get too hot, because then it won't it'll deactivate. You want to activate the yeast. You don't want to kill it, because yeast is alive. So if I'm remembering right, a lot of the recipes Catherine, you stop it right now. Oreo can be in here if she wants to. You don't stop, you're going to go to the kitty jail. And that place stinks. If I remember right, some of these recipes says to heat the water up for you wanted the water to be from 120 to 130, I believe. If you'll give me a sec, I'll actually research that, because some of my recipe, I got that a temperature from Jenny Can Cook, actually, and she will actually tell you how long to heat it up for, what the degree needs to be. So I will look at that, and we'll just figure this out. We'll guess. Or guesstimate, as I like to say. So, give me 1 second, everyone. Let me find a recipe from her. Jenny Jones, Jones is her actual name. Her YouTube channel and website is Jenny Can Cook. Yeast, or water for yeast. Oh, that's a pecan pie. I don't think she don't use yeast for that. Oh, here we go. 120 or 130 degrees for instant, or 110 to 120 for active. Now, I'm not sure what I've got. All I know is that mine is, she says the hot tap water will be just fine. You don't want this to actually boil. So I'm going to try 30 minutes for this. If I think it's not hot enough, I'll put it on for another 30 minutes and we'll go from there. Or, 30 seconds, guys. Sorry.
I'm finna sit down and watch on YouTube.
And I believe 30 minutes actually did it. So I'm going to pour this in here. And butter's not completely melted, but I think that'll be okay. So put the lid on this. And what does it say after stir together? Stir butter mixture. Add the egg and knead this until the dough is no longer sticky. Okay, so now it's time to crack our egg open. Okay. So, now that we got that, okay. 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 I'm gonna flour my surface here. Okay. Oh, pretty sticky, huh? Oh, I got this up too high. There we go. I should have said something. We can't see. Okay. So I'll wash that again. Okay. So now I'm going to take just a little bit of flour and we're going to dust it on top here. Okay, so it says knead this until it's no longer sticky. What you doing, honey?
Well, it's really clean your dishes.
Oh. Remember to keep flouring because you want all this sticky to go away. And okay. Okay. So we getting this. This is just about ready. And it's looking good too. I know I brag on Daniel a lot, but I've never seen him just willingly do the dishes. And really, he wants me to be sitting down until he's able to help me do a lot of the work around here, the house chores, because my back is so bad, I'm not physically able to hold up and do a lot of things. I mean, I really do give it a good housewife effort, but if I was to just go off and ignore my back, by the end of the day, I would probably wind up in the hospital. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit for just a bit. I got to rewash my bowl here so I can put some oil in it and let this coat it. Let it sit. It says to let it sit for at least about 5 minutes. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to let that sit for about 5 minutes once it's inside the bowl. Okay. We got that washed. I'm going to put just a little bit of oil in here. If I can get my thing open. So you don't need a whole load, a really lot with this. What? Hang on a second, guys. What in the world is my son doing? Oh. Daniel putting down for a nap. Okay, so we got this coated. We got the oil in here. Got it surrounded just a bit. Now, take your dough, drop it in there, and then pick it up, drop it in again. And that's pretty much it. Now, we just set this aside for about 20 minutes or 5 minutes and do a little cleanup. Or go ahead and start with the other half of this. The glaze. The glaze can wait. I'm going to go ahead and start preheating my oven. Preheat oven to 200 degrees. Let me get the oil off my hands, guys. Okay. So, now that we got that going, we need another bowl so we can do biscuits. And I've done biscuits in this one.
Watch it. I don't know.
What happened to the dishes?
I will do them later. I gotta go out there feed dogs.
Yeah, likely story.
Say what?
Anybody else believe that? But yes, he does need to feed the dogs.
Oh.
I'm teasing.
Okay.
Now, I just need to locate a fork.
Even with my plasma drained out, I still got tons of energy and know how to restore. By the way, I gave plasma yesterday and made some money. So I gave 800 and something worth of plasma. And you notice I still was full of energy.
Yeah, Mr. Brady Dance. Stop eating my cheese.
It's all part of being a billion years old.
Shush.
Okay.
Alright, so the recipe I'm using for biscuits is not something that is written down. It is something my mother has taught me. This is actually a cup. So she doesn't really do accurate measurements with this. She says this is basically just eyeballing, but it's all it is really is about 2.5 cups. So I just take this and just kind of lightly scoop out what I think is enough. Again, aerate your flour. I do think I need to cover that. Okay. So, next thing you need to do is get your butter. Again, I'm not necessarily measuring, I'm just kind of eyeballing everything. Now, I've got a blender that only takes a cup at a time. I'm not going to use it mainly because I have learned how to do this without it. Okay, we got that. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this. This does not necessarily have to be really, really accurate. A lot of recipes say you want your butter to be and flour to mix almost like it's a fine grain. But then some of these recipes that call for butter, uh, especially biscuits, will say that you want to see some of this chunk. Okay. Now, the reason why I haven't cleared this off is because I've just had uh, my dough on this. This will be perfect for me to roll up my biscuits and set them on this. This is reusable, so you don't need to you don't need to waste. So all I'm doing is I'm making sure this is butter is kind of distributed everywhere. Okay. Okay. So we got that going. Now, milk. What did I do with that? I must have just put it back in here. Let's try that one Yes, I do. Okay, that's about all you're gonna need. We're gonna put milk in this, and since I don't have buttermilk, I'm gonna put milk in here, and I'm gonna add just a splash of vinegar. Reason why is because that vinegar will actually curdle the milk, creating buttermilk. Okay, got that, and yeah, it looks like I've kind of overfilled it a little bit. But I don't need all of that. I just need enough to make a sticky dough. Okay, so I'm going to take about half of that cup, and we're going to stir this together, and we're just going to see what we need based on how well this dough comes together. And I need just a bit more. Once I get this done, I can actually go back to my cinnamon rolls. Well, I'm going to try it all. I probably do need all of it. Yeah, that one ended up being just a smidge too much. If it is, just take just a little bit of flour. And like I said, this is nothing precise. This is just for what you're just combining just a couple of things till it's to the form that you want. Okay. Okay, so just a smidge more. We're going to dust the top of this because I got to get started on kneading this. And no, you don't want to knead this too much because the more you handle biscuits, the less fluffy and flaky and beautiful it's going to be. Ah, fumble bridges. It's alright, I'll just use the cup I have for milk. That works. Okay. So I always, for some odd reason, start over there, and I guess I wind up with a big sticky mess all over my fingers. What is it, Blow? What, Blow? What is it? Yeah, Blue's right behind you guys. Well, go ahead and add just a smidge more flour because this has got to. I don't know what's wrong with it today. I'm having all kinds of problems with this. Alright, might as well just surrender and go wash my hands so I can start all over again. Or not necessarily start all over again, but just flour the devil out of that flour, out of that biscuit dough. Playing with my husband. Well, really, my cinnamon rolls are waiting on my biscuits. I can never get these biscuits to come out right. Now we're cooking. I don't care if they play in there. They do it all the time.
Oh, okay.
They gotta have something to play on. Okay. So now, yet again, my hands. And then we can start with the pan on that. And while we're at it, go ahead and get the pan for the cinnamon rolls done. Okay. Cinnamon rolls, biscuits. Oh, does says to cut this off after about 10 minutes. I think it's been slightly longer than that. I didn't think that actually worked. Well, somewhat worked. Well, at least it makes less of a mess. Now I'm just kind of doing this by hand. I'm not really trying to be precise. cloud. All right. All right. Just about done, everyone, with this. One more. Well, I think I may be able to get another 3 on there. Maybe. There went foam. Nope, just one more.
Yeah,
One more after this.
I go out there and feed.
Uh-huh. I done made biscuits. What you've been saying, you gonna go outside and feed them.
Yeah. And my homework said don't be doing all it.
No biscuits for him.
Yeah. My homework said don't be doing all that.
I'm live, Daniel.
Oh. Well, my baby?
Like I said, he said not to make biscuits, so therefore he ain't getting no.
Okay.
Okay, just tossing that out. Okay. So I got my biscuits done. Now let's turn our attention back to the cinnamon rolls. Okay. Now it's time to roll it out. Although I rarely use a rolling pin for some weird reason. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of push it out with my hand. Now, like I said, you're supposed to use a rolling pin for this, but I don't use one a lot. I can judge this better with my hands. Not to mention, I can control the formation this makes. With what little space I've got, I've had to learn to do some things like this without using some of the necessities. Because the rolling pin just doesn't maneuver well in what little area I've got. So I make do with what I got and be happy that I have what I've got. Because God gave it to me, and He could easily take it away from me. You be grateful. Always be grateful for what you got. Okay? Now, the next step in cinnamon rolls says to take butter and You take the butter, rub it all over your dough, your surface here, and I'll move this back down so you can see what I'm doing. And then you take sugar, sprinkle it with sugar and sprinkle it with cinnamon, but I'm going to add some cocoa to this too. So it's going to be cinnamon cocoa biscuits. It's just something I like to do. Let me get my butter out again. And I am going to need the butter for my biscuits too. It's just to melt a little bit and spread that on top. So I'm going to take my knife. That right there. And all we're doing is just making sure our cinnamon and sugar stick to the surface of your dough.
Oh, Jesus. Sharp ass thing.
Careful, honey, it's sharp.
I know. Very sharp.
He didn't play back that time. Most of the time he plays. In fact, this dude is on play mode 24 hours a day just about. Unless he's working, and then he works like a dog. But he tries to have a little fun while he's doing that too. Now it does say use a stick of butter. No, I take that back. 1/4 cup or half a stick of unsalted butter softened. Well, softened at room temp, but we're gonna do it this way. It's just as good. Okay, got that one done. Now, move my phone. We're going to sprinkle some sugar on this. Okay. Now the cinnamon. And like I said, well, you may want to do precise measurements on this. I don't usually. I like to kind of eyeball this. You would not believe, but the cocoa with this actually makes this come out really, really good. And what's left of that cocoa, I'll put in my glaze. Now, all we gotta do is roll this. I'm gonna try to do really tight rolls. Now I need a knife and I want to cut this in pieces. But first I'll surround this. I want to make it more like a log. Okay, that looks nice and pretty. Now let me grab me a knife. Cut the sucker up. Uh-oh. You know, I'm just lining it in the pan. Caesar, what's the matter, honey? And I'm going to put some space in between each of them. Give these room to expand. Because they'll expand a little bit more when they're inside the oven. That's what the preheating the oven like that was for. In the meantime, let me clean this mess up, start my glaze, and put some butter on top of my biscuits, and maybe we'll cook both at the same time. Okay. Almost done, everyone, I believe. Guess I do need to do that 200 again. I'm going to take a little bit of butter here, and I'm going to kind of put a topping on top of my biscuits. Not a lot. Of course, that does look like a lot. And done with the butter. So now we need to clean this up. Yeah, it's my microwave reminded me there's still something inside it. Oh, that's hot. Blast, that's hot. Okay. So all I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna take and again move these down here. The reason why I'm having to use the knife is because I don't have a brush to brush this butter on top. So I'm just using, you learn to use what you got. Well, I said it was going to be enough. Maybe it's not. Maybe it won't be. Now, these cinnamon rolls have actually doubled in size. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this up. And we're going to bake both at the same time. Now, it says 1 cup of powdered sugar for the glaze. Okay. Now I've cut the oven up to 160. That's kind of a bad idea on most cases. If you do cut the oven up, keep a very close eye on what you got in there because you don't want it to burn. I'm just getting clumps out of this. Okay, I think we got all the clumps out. It says 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. There's one teaspoon. And then it says 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk or coffee. Well, I've got both, so I'm going to use the coffee. In fact, Daniel saved some for me. Oh. It says tablespoons. One. 2. Let's just see if I need another one. I don't know.
Oh, you got the lights out.
Because I hadn't been paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Cut it on. It was light when I got started. Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and get the 3rd tablespoon of this coffee. Here we go. And just continue to whisk this in. Okay, everything's doing just fine. You should smell this. Let me put this up real quick. Always some that just won't blend. That looks good. That tastes good. Well, we ain't done yet. Well, Daniel added more dishes over there. I'm gonna up the temp so we can get this done. 4:15. Go ahead and put my recipe book up because I don't need that anymore. Oh, that's still very delayed. Well, sorry for the wait, everyone. Last time y'all saw me, we was giving an update on Daniel's finances, and I want to thank everybody again for keeping us in your prayers because it certainly did pay off. We have come out not completely on top topic again, but we're just about got it to where we're stable again, which is a blessing. Cannot stress enough on how much faith has come into play with that. Because had we not had faith to start with, we would have given up and considered all hope lost. But we kept the faith, stuck together, and well, now we're just starting to see the proof of what God has always promised us. If we just keep at it, keep praying, have a little bit of faith, you can move mountains. So I'm just going to clean up just a little bit. While my stuff is baking. Yeah, I've got two things going at the same time, honey.
Okay. There's no more eggs?
no, I had just enough eggs left to make my cinnamon rolls. All I needed was one egg.
Okay.
You left me one egg.
Yeah.
Just enough. Check this again. Oh, wow, they are starting to look good, but still very doughy.
So how the muffins going, baby?
Have risen. Take a look. They're
Okay.
not done. They're still very doughy, but they're looking good.
Yeah.
I've used the last of the chocolate, honey. Okay, time to check our stuff in the oven.
How it looking, baby?
To be honest with you, if I had a knife that was clean, I would poke this and take a look.
Oh, this is stupid. What?
Nothing stupid.
Oh, me.
What? Oh.
They keep on. Okay. We keep on thinking in my mind.
We are done. Officially done.
I want some. You know what?
Dessert.
I got to say this. You know what? This is my wife, and I love her. And she's not.
Oh, that's just one thing. I'd rather you keep to yourself.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
He's had the devil in his head for about a month now.
Yes.
And it's about to drive him insane.
Yes.
And
I know you're not.
hey,
Huh?
don't miss the fun part.
Cut me some pieces.
It's for dessert. About what he said, if things get a little tough emotionally, always pray about it because God's bigger than your problem, and more than likely it's a test. Like Daniel's had the devil in his head. He says some thoughts that he's not shouldn't have, but all he really does need to do is just continue to pray about it, and God will take care of everything in the end. With that said, y'all have a wonderful evening and God bless.
God bless.